A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL.
They'll set up a throw. Got his man. It's Eifert. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 45-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about different style of running in order to get this guy going.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
Watch the boot. Mark 55, Mark 55. Hey, watch your legs.
Looking to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets him 6. He'll look to throw. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A Bengal first down on the 16-yard pickup there.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
Bring it. Right here, guys. Mike 51. Mike 51.
Back to throw now on 1st down. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Second and 11. Looking for the end zone. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. He was looking for John Ross that time. And it's 3rd down.
Ready? Go. Watch left. He's telling me. Hey, we got 3 down. 31's the mic. Be a long day for you. 31's the mic. Let's go, D. 31's left.
Back to throw here. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Stay with your man.
They'll start on the ground with Balaj. He's got the first down and more past midfield. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. This will be fielded at the 8. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. 6 yards on that last play. Here's second and 4.
Man, I got you.
They'll stay on the ground. Ballage again. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Kalen Ballage, his second TD of the game and 16th on the season. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Sanders now to add the extra point. And it's 21-3. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger. But no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing. And try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a second and 5. From the gun, a give to Mixon. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They'll look to throw here, and that is incomplete.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. 6-yard return after a punt of 48. And it'll be Dolphin football.
at their own 23-yard line.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go up and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Play action. It's Jackson. Complete. Smith has it. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And finally marked down at the 42-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
How about our reigning AFC Player of the Week, hot-footing it into the secondary on that run?
Yeah, nice long run. That's what got him the award a week ago. Maybe he's trying for 2 in a row here this week. Now a first carry for their fullback. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Watching that run takes me back to something a famous old coach once said. Any player he wants on his team, he wants him to be agile, mobile, and most definitely hostile.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's no gain on the play, and they'll remain a few inches shy of a first with third down looming.
Let's go now. 2-10. I got you.
Jackson looking to throw on third. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Coverage there by Von Bell.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Sanders' kick is good. And that will stretch the lead up to 3 touchdowns now. It's a 21-point game. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Bengals drive about to get going. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Once again, they run with Mixon. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big play there for Cincinnati. 48 yards on the ground. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. The fullback Watt with a run. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. And he will take it across midfield and down to the 45.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
They run it with Balaj. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at the 43-yard line.
Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4. Here we go, D, all day.
Again, it's Balaj.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. On 3rd and 1, Jackson. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Michael Gallup, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that'll increase their lead to 28. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
An 8-yard gain brings up 2nd down at the 24-yard line.
Son, 60 outlaw on you all day, all day. I'm coming after you. I'm coming. 31's the mic. Night, sweetheart. What? Under 10, under 10. What? Check 31, check 31. Check. Check.
They're going to look to throw. He's going to air one out. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Facing this fourth quarter deficit, felt like they had to throw the ball, and on the other side, they were ready.
No doubt about it. They're playing situational football. They look at the clock, they know the lead that they have, and all they're doing is playing pass on every down.
Playing the pass, picking it off, and now big time in the driver's seat. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. They got to get to the 23 here on 3rd. Jackson. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead will swell by one more. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going, and they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The throw over the middle taken in and able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 23 yards, the final tally.
Tight, watch left. Yup. Watch left. 3 down. 3 down.
They'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And a loose football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, Just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now it's Ingram. Ingram churning. He lost the football, and the Bengals grab it. And that will write a finish to this ball game. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for Miami, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, the difficult season continues as they drop to 1-8. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until week 11. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.